Welcome to the Lexy and Jai Show podcast.
Wicka. For spiritual gangsters who want a dose of the spiritual mixed with fun.
Like and subscribe so we can be best friends.
Nailed it.
And just like that, we're back.
From outer space.
That's right. Thank you for tuning into the Lexy and Jai Show, proudly brought to you by Makita Power Tools. Measure once, cut once with your new 16-volt circular saw. I know when I meditate, I won't meditate without my Makita Power Tools. What about you, Lexy?
Yeah, 100%. I have nothing. That you got me.
Good.
You got me good. That was great.
Yeah, we are not sponsored.
There's nothing better than a jackhammer when you're trying to meditate.
Really quiets the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called extreme meditating.
That's right. Speaking of meditation, what I wanted to ask you today, because it's been asked of me a lot of late, people that have issues meditating because they can't quiet their mind, right? So, off with the train of thoughts, etc. What do you suggest would be some tips or advice that you could give to people who can't quiet their mind in meditation?
Ooh, I like this because you know how we've spoken previously about like the pinball brain.
Yeah.
So when I was studying meditation, there's like so many different breathing things and stuff that you can do, which to me didn't quite work.
Yeah.
But one thing I did do was I would breathe in for 4 seconds, hold a second, and then exhale for 5. All the while in my head, I would chant, I am, or I would just pick a random word. So it could be like, cat.
Yeah.
And I would just say that.
Meditation,
yeah, but I would just say that over and over and over into my head until I had the gap. That was like one of the only things that worked.
That work for you?
For me,
yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What do you do?
Well, that's what I was going to say. The only thing I do is breath work, just like you said, yeah.
Yeah.
But transcendental meditation is one that I found, which, just like you said, is you're basically picking a word and it's any word and you just keep saying it. It actually works better when it's not a word, if it's actually like a couple of syllables. So so your brain can't
fixate on the word.
Yeah, fixate on the word and what it is.
Yeah, no, you are right.
But just over and over till infinity, and then your brain gets tired of thinking of that word, and then
it gives up.
Yeah, it gives up, and you're off.
Waves of white flag.
yeah, this is too boring.
I surrender to the soul now. Yeah,
exactly. So that and breath work, for sure. So, for me, it was different to yours. In for 5.
Yeah.
In for 4, hold for 5, out for 6. I think. So.
Yeah, there's so many different ones. There's like even like the square breathing as well.
Yeah.
When it's like inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4.
Yeah.
They apparently do that in the I think it's like the Navy SEALs and the military and stuff. They do it to help people be calm in stressful situations.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it really matters too much about how long you're holding it for and stuff. It's just the fact that your mind is thinking and counting and stuff like that. It's just diversion therapy, I guess.
Exactly. If you set like just a breathing pattern and go, okay, I'm just going to breathe for this, consciously. Remember, consciously.
Yeah.
Have an awareness of your breath for that time. Yeah, I agree. But could you imagine though, just being like a Navy SEAL and just like in a high combat situation, and just like, hang on a second.
Shots firing over you.
Just breathing in for 4 seconds.
Pause for a minute.
Yeah. We need to do some square breathing, guys.
I lost count. Start again.
Dear. Yeah, no, heaps of people have trouble with meditation for that reason. Quietening the mind.
Yeah. And I'm one of them.
I used to be too. I actually that's why I went and saw ages ago when I got into it about my insomnia. I actually got him to teach me how to meditate because I just couldn't get my brain to switch off, especially in group settings.
Really?
I was so bad going to group meditations. oh my God, just because of the amount of information that I was picking up on.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, and then because obviously everybody's raising their vibration, so everything's lifting, and I was just like, it was just literally like a TV, like someone was changing TV channels constantly.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I need a timeout.
Yeah, wow.
From my timeout.
Hey, I want to talk to you about something that our good friend Katie told me the other day, right?
Oh, yes.
In regards to drinking water, but it's in regards to anything really.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I was drinking water in the car, and she's like, you shouldn't be drinking water while you're driving. I'm like, what? It's not beer.
What?
And she said, you need to be consciously drinking water. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you need to just pay attention to it and feel the water go in, and give thanks and all that sort of stuff every time you do that.
Yeah.
And it's more nourishing to your body, etc. And I had honestly never thought about it that way.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thinking back on it now, you've probably told me things like that a million times, but sometimes it just doesn't sink in.
Yeah. They had like there's like two things really with it. One is which Katie Connie obviously touched on, was like, giving thanks or gratitude. To me, it's more I like to do is like a blessing with it. So even if before I go to the gym in the morning or something, if I fill up my drink bottle, I'll actually hold my drink bottle and I just feel frequency, like I feel that I'm tuning into the water and raising the vibration and like it, almost like a bit of a blessing in a way.
Yeah, okay.
And and then like my first drink, because I've done it as like the whole bottle, and then just go, okay, thanks, like I would say like I don't always consciously do it, but I do aim to do it a decent amount of time during my day. Yeah.
Okay.
It does actually. I feel like ever since
for drinking or for eating?
Yeah,
as well?
for eating, I do it with eating, but not I'm human. There's still times like I'll just stuff food down my face because I'm starving. Like
aggressively.
Just
I've seen you do
that. Like I'm being completely transparent.
Clear the room, everybody.
There's times when I just don't do that, but there are other times when I'll actually sit there and feel grateful for my meal as I'm eating it. But I have noticed ever since, like with the water, ever since the DMT experience I had, where they said water is the answer, and I saw all the molecules and everything. Ever since then, my mentality around water has definitely shifted. And I appreciate it more.
I just thought it was really interesting anyway. Actually,
wait, because I want to mention this. I don't know if I've said this before, but there's a Japanese, he's a scientist but he was doing, I think we've briefly had this conversation outside of the podcast, but he did a lot of experiments, which people have heard of his experiments, but probably haven't heard of him. But he has like hidden messages in water, The True Power of Water. He has like those two books. And what he did was he put them in jars. So he's done it with rice as well, but he literally did it with water molecules and just had them kind of in jars like petri dishes. And he had one where he was like, okay, I'm going to go and feel like grateful for the water, that kind of thing. Send positivity there. He had another one where...
How did you do that? Was it just like looking at the water and then feeling gratitude?
He said he was thinking and feeling. He was thinking and feeling. He said he would do like switch between the two.
Gotcha.
But he did it also with another group where he actually got other people to go in and do it. But basically he had that. He also had one where they go in and like basically just think, like complain, think nasty things, like all that kind of stuff. Basically project negativity. And then they had another one where it was basically ignored. Like they'd walk in and then do nothing and then walk back out. The one that was ignored and the one that was negative went black.
Water went black.
It started going black. You should see, like, I don't have obviously things, but if you get a chance, if any of our listeners get a chance, like, and if you don't read, like, listen to the audiobook. Listen to the audiobook. It's really interesting. He's got 2 books on it. But one's on the water and one's on rice. But his whole argument is like basically you know, and there's a conspiracy there where they've said, oh, you know, your ovaries were over, I think initially that it was like 75% or something like that of water. And apparently over the years, they've actually gone, oh, no, it's actually less than that. And so there's this conspiracy that it's like to obviously lower people's conscious awareness and the connection with water. So, yeah, but his whole argument, like I guess his whole theory is that because we're made up of more of water, our thoughts and feelings, like he proved in an experiment that it makes a massive difference to your cell, to how your cells, because they're made up mostly of water, are actually going to thrive and create, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I spoke to you about this with the rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he does want a water, and it's literally like the water crystallizes. Like it's so cool. They almost look like which is why when I had my DMT experience, I was like, holy crap, it was so mind blowing because it crystallized and it looked like they look almost like snowflakes when they're like these perfect.
That's what I was thinking when you said it.
Yeah, these perfect snowflakes, and you're just like, wow. And that's what they were showing me in my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like seeing them and going, oh, that's right, like water. Yeah.
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 Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got another thing to say.
I'm so glad because I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So when you go to sleep,
like permanently or like
like does your soul leave your body when you're in the sleep state? And the reason I ask is this: you know how you can wake up somebody abruptly and you look in their eyes and they look soulless, like they look completely different, like their eyes is like they just look like a different person.
No, I totally get you, because I've wondered around the same thing, right? Because obviously when I astral travel or like leave, but even when I say leave, it's like a version of you, like an aspect of you goes.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually leave. I don't feel like you completely leave your body.
Okay.
But
some
death,
of you do.
But an aspect, I feel like it comes down to consciousness in terms of your dimension. So I feel like that 4D or 5D version of yourself is what leaves. And so your 3D version, because it's tied to the physical sense, is like out of it completely. Like I think there is that kind of dying, or like that, you know, it's out. And so your consciousness then shifts to your 4D, 5D, 6D, whatever. And then that's where I feel like that's where you journey with.
Yeah, okay.
I definitely am interested to know, because
because they just look so weird, right? When that just look like they've got a different face.
Yeah.
Only for a bit. And
and that's what I'm wondering if, like, because the 5D or like that aspect, because you have to think, like, realistically 5D holds 4D, 3D, 2D, 1D. Like every, you know, like as you start going up, and I was listening to a book on the way here about it, it's basically they're like nesting dolls, you know. So you have all of these conscious levels of dimensions of consciousness within you. And so if you have the 5D and you pull someone back like real quick, I think there would be that like delay of like coming back to get like coming back together. You know, I know that's just my kind of theory on it. I'm not you know, I'm not an expert in it. I mean, obviously I do travel a lot, but I don't. There's a lot that I would love to get more information around. But when I ask, they just then shift. But to ask those questions, you have to go quite high. So then you end up just being in the higher level consciousness. And then they go,
none of it matters.
And they go, yeah, exactly. Or they go, you know, like, yes, and you're connected. And you're like, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was actually thinking about this just the other day, actually just yesterday. And I never actually thought about it when I was in my Christian phase and not spiritually awoken phase. But if you're just really in the physical body and you do just that, you just go to sleep, you ever just wonder, like, where the hell was I for 5, 7, 8, 10 hours? Like, what happens? Am I just like a new person just with some memories that made up my past? Because it's not really there anymore, is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that is exactly right. Sometimes well, you know, when I was doing the dream thing and they were going, oh, you know, you have, like, we talk about dreams and it's like, well, realistically, that could just be like your higher consciousness just, you know, well, I feel like there's been times when I've had a dream and then there's times when like I go, oh, that's a dream. And then I'm like, and then I was in another realm and in another dimension. And you start kind of going, well, technically I could have been in another dimension in a realm. And that just felt really similar because people's faces are different. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, I reckon there's probably at least every, like, it's not every day, but probably at least every second day I'll wake up and I have at least 7 experiences that I'm like, oh, I've got to write these down.
Yeah.
But, and they're all just like completely not related. Like, not related. I know, like, I've told you, you know, I tell you fair few things.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And I listen to most of them.
As Shane's probably the same. I'm like, hey Shane, I had this, and he's like, yeah, okay.
Again.
But I had one the other day, which is what I started before we started the podcast, guys. I asked Jai, I was like, oh, have I told you about the dolphin shifters? And he's like, what? But this is a good segue into that because that's what happened the other day. I was on this planet and there were dolphins and they
in your dream
shifted.
or in meditation or what?
I think I was astral traveling. So, but like it was while I was asleep.
Okay.
So I've gone there and I was like some kind of princess or something, but it was like king and queen, and we were having like a council meeting with these dolphins that shifted into human form. Okay. And they were talking to us about the ocean or like, you know, about the water and how like, you know, we've got they're like, oh, the frequency has been harmed, and but like they were talking about all this stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, like
yeah.
But even in the dream, I remember sitting there because I was like, just this, I don't know.
It all makes sense in your dream, though, right?
No, I was sitting there as a princess, and I'm like, so why are you talking to me about this? Like, yeah. You know, because they were like the guy that was the shifter was going like, you know, so you need to do something about it, and I'm like, you're talking to the king and queen, like, you know, you're talking to mum and dad? No, yeah. Like, it was a bit weird. But at the same time, once he started talking about the energy and the frequencies, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we do need to do something about that.
Yeah.
Like I knew what he was talking about straight away. It was weird.
Okay. So what do we need to do?
Apparently, like, again, it's really weird that you've then brought up the water thing on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because they were saying blessing, yeah, exactly. They were saying blessing the water and sending, literally sending light energy into the ocean is what they were saying that we had to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently it's one of the things that the moon does, which is why it links to the ocean.
Sending light into the ocean.
Yeah, apparently the moon sends light energy, like in terms of frequencies, into the ocean. Okay.
Well, if the moon's got it covered. What?
But that's what I mean. Apparently it's like surpassed, like the moon was on. Basically, this is what my interpretation is of it.
Okay.
The moon is the maintenance.
Yeah, okay.
But it got really low.
Yeah.
And so it needs a boost for the moon to keep doing its thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think in my next free live group healing I should probably get everyone to do that?
Yeah.
Send
I feel like that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it just kept coming up around all the sea life in the ocean, and I was just talking to these dolphins.
Maybe we should make a meditation to the same effect.
That'd be cool.
And
yeah.
Give it to everyone.
Yeah. Was it like, I just still can't get, like, I think obviously it stood out just because I saw the dolphins changing form, like shifting.
Yeah. Oh,
they
that
like
doesn't happen normally for you?
That's
so cool.
I was like, but do you know, actually one of the guys, one of the dolphins, what he changed into, you know that, there's that guy that we follow on TikTok that talks about,
Joe Rogan?
No. the new age, spiritual buster dude.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That was one of the dolphins. That was one of the dolphins. He was one of the dolphins.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay.
He changed into one of like, he wasn't the one talking about the ocean problem, but he changed in and he was there, and he was like, he actually, this is what was weird. He's like,
the receding hairline.
He goes, right? He's like, I'm present for this. I'm like,
Okay. Didn't
That's
do a roll
literally
call.
all he said. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit strange.
That's pretty cool though.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so dolphin shifters.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. I don't know how much time we've got left, but we sort of raced through these topics. But I only found out recently that there are people in this world that do not have an internal dialogue.
What?
Yeah. So people who
What? Says who?
so they would just
Sorry.
says people, right? That they don't have the ability to know whether something is. Shit, I wrote it down. Hang on. So, there's no questioning whether they're right or wrong, as you would get with like serial killers and things, I guess.
Okay.
Never wondering if they are treating someone fairly or if they're being nice or mean. That there are people in this world.
Are
That
they the
like that.
NPCs?
Exactly what I wrote. Are they the NPCs?
Oh, no way!
Right. Right. So,
How?
are they non-playable characters in this Matrix?
Well, remember that, like, I spoke to you about, like, I got given some symbol thing to,
Yeah.
like, kind of show if they were more hologram than
Yeah.
involved in the 3D level of consciousness as well, because essentially it's integrating. But, like, that, yeah. How, okay, I have so many questions.
Yeah. As with all spirituality, as soon as you learn something new, it just gives you 50 more
I
questions.
know.
to ask.
I was actually talking to you about this about, I don't know, 6 weeks or so ago, because somebody had said to me, they like, I can't picture things in my mind, and I was like, how do I know?
Yeah, no. I remember you talking about the not picturing things in the mind, but to also have no internal dialogue, like of like, oh, this is right or wrong, or am I this, am I that? Like, no, none of that at all.
Yeah, like
But how would you know if they
robots.
don't have it?
That's what I was saying. That was my thing.
Yeah.
That's my question.
I don't know. Apparently,
Like, they just
scientists have
say-
worked it out. There's
To
some
those
people that don't.
I say, prove it.
Do they have no brain function? Wait, are these like, would it? I'm so confused. I have a lot of questions in terms of, I mean, obviously, to be fair, I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, I want to see the science of it. I'm just interested to know that,
I
because you
also
know how
want to
they
see
can,
the science of it, though.
yeah, like just how they can monitor, because that would come down to a like brain activity as well.
Yeah, I imagine so.
So to not have, because I remember Shane talking to me, a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, oh, there's no, you know, people don't have images, like they don't see color or see images in their mind.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
weird.
there's people that are like that. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, to not have any internal dialogue,
Yeah.
you have
It's
to be
just like-
be an NPC.
It must. Oh, right. It must
Like,
just
how
be
are you a
autopilot,
person?
right? Yeah. How are you a person?
Do you have it like, and because they would have a backstory? I mean, if this was a Matrix, like this was the game, they would have a backstory about their character, but actually not have anything outside of that structure.
You know what? I ask my kids what they're thinking all the time, right? And they always say nothing. Like they're just staring off into space, like like when we're driving in the car. I
Yeah.
was like what are you thinking, Bo? He's like, nothing. Like, is this wind going through?
You know
the
what?
ears?
You know what that would be? That would be him just going onto a like higher plane of existence.
I know, but I'm really interested to see.
So there's no thinking.
No.
It's just like, just try like, but we wouldn't have the awareness to go, oh, I just travelled.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, just chilling on another planet. What are you thinking? Nothing.
yeah.
Just chilling.
Like I
on-
said the other day, what do you dream about? Nothing. It's sleeping. Yeah, you don't dream
I
about
flat out
sleeping.
don't believe it.
Don't believe that in no internal dialogue.
No. I'm looking it up on Google right now, and apparently there's heaps of people, but I still don't believe it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. But that's what I mean. Like, oh, if they do have no internal dialogue. No,
Then you've gotta be
they would
non-playable
have to be an NPC. They would have to be a
Yeah.
non-playable character.
Yeah, I think there's like, you've got like auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and you kind of relate to one or the other. So if you're more of a kinesthetic person and somebody says to you, visualize it, well, it can be hard for you to visualize it. So I can see, oh, well, I can't picture things. I can get how somebody
I can
would say
understand that,
Yeah,
but
but
no,
you still have a
still-
voice
You still
of reason in your head
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
going, maybe don't touch that, it's hot.
that's
You know what I mean? You said something as simple as that.
Otherwise, you're walking through the world with your eyes closed, aren't you?
Yeah.
But, like,
Just go-
even just having that whole, you know, your highest self is that, like, everyone has that voice that chimes in and is like, yeah, I got a good feeling about this, or like, yeah, don't go there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously people in horror movies don't have that.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, go upstairs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it now. That's the actors in those horror movies.
Yeah.
They always go into the dungeon.
They dead set have no internal dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's
That's so bizarre.
crazy
I've
world we live
never heard of that before. Having known. Sorry. I am still trying to process this.
Yeah.
On so many levels right now.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
are those
flawed.
people more susceptible to like mind control, MK Ultra stuff, which could make them serial killers, etc.
I doubt it,
Yeah, they're gonna.
because there's nothing going on there.
Yeah, that's true. Trying to turn on a switch and nothing's happening.
The
No
power's
lights,
disconnected at
no
this
electricity. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still, even with the NPCs, like, even when I've had go, oh, you know, you can do this simple and find an NPC, I'm like, I'm still just really interested, because I'm like, I thought that we were all just souls having this kind of earth experience to help raise consciousness and vibration, yada yada.
Yeah.
And like,
And yeah,
I'm so confused with that. You know what I mean?
But the
Even for
NPC
me, I
thing
can
is
talk
real.
about NPCs, but I'm like, this also still doesn't really make sense.
yeah. How many NPCs would there be in the world? Which means how many actual playable characters are
Yeah.
left?
And
Is
wait,
it just like me and you and the listeners for the most part, and that's like that's
and
us?
probably Shane.
Oh yeah, Shane, of course.
Yeah.
No,
I totally get what you mean, because I also had this thing where you know, after the DMT experience, where it's like, oh, this isn't real, right? So
Yeah.
then I'm like, have we just fast forwarded a lot, like we've gone so far forward into virtual reality that I am being played by my higher self,
yeah,
which is essentially another soul. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like playing Lexy.
Yeah.
Because, well, not another soul. It's still that
It's
soul,
still
but
the
it's like
same soul.
it's like a part of an aspect of that person that's playing in the. Oh,
Yeah.
we lost our for our video watchers. We just lost our background of our logo.
I don't even know what it was.
And so this is the Great Salt Lake in Utah.
I'm just.
That's
pressing.
why they call it Salt Lake City. I'm guessing. I haven't been there, and I don't. I'm not.
People that are listening to this are just like, what is going on?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
were we just talking about some serious stuff and then just started talking about Utah?
Oh, is that serious stuff?
I don't know. I don't
So-
know, but you get what I'm trying to explain though. It's like, okay, so realistically there could just be Lexy playing Lexy
Yep.
in this realm.
Yep.
And then, okay, MCs, but it's like, all right, so is this actually a real...
And that person that's playing you, which is your soul or oversoul
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
doesn't realize that they're actually a character. And
In
somebody
another
above
one.
is playing, yeah, just like you don't
It
realize.
and it is the ultimate Russian nesting doll.
Yes. That. I can't believe I know what that is.
You know that where the
Yes, I
dolls
know,
go
I know.
inside the doll. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, Joe Rogan had a theory on this the other day.
Oh really?
He was like, what about if every time you go to sleep and when you wake up you're actually a different person, and you get you get the day to have a crack at improving the life.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, but when you wake up, you've got all the memories of that new person.
Yeah.
But it's a different you.
Because essentially
From
it's
a
still your
different
character.
timeline, still you. Still
Oh,
your
wow.
body with your memories, but it's a different person and they're having a blast.
Having a blast. Having a blast.
Wow.
When really they're like, God, it's bin day.
It would, if that was the case, it'd really teach you to not take life so seriously.
If you had the awareness of it, though.
If you had the awareness, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, Joe Rogan, eh?
Cheeky mongrel. All right.
Man.
That's us, I think.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, guys, and girls, I'm blown away by this, and I need what's called marinating time.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Thanks.
This podcast comes out when? I think it's like tomorrow, pretty soon.
Right, yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, you guys are up to date. So
Yeah.
Enjoy.
We're on the...
Yeah.
I don't even know what that was, but yeah. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.